Hey guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show for Friday, November 28th, 2025. Welcome to another eBay video. Today's main topic is something we visited before. We're going to revisit again. Do not fall for the partial refund scam on eBay. We're going to talk about that in depth. This ugly situation has reared its head once again. It does it periodically, but lately there seems to be a big increase in this kind of thing. We're also going to be talking about extremely slow sales, record level slow, like I've never seen in my 27-year career, and how when sales are slow, it seems all the screwballs come out of the woodwork. You know I'm not kidding. If you sell on eBay, or even any platform for that matter, you know I'm not kidding. And yeah, I also want to talk a little bit about best offers, something that happened to a constituent. And yeah, okay, let's get started. First of all, before we get started, I hope you guys were able to see some of the videos I put up this last week. I spent all day yesterday working on my 7-Ups video. That thing took forever to compilate. And I had planned this ahead of time because I knew I was going to have absolutely nothing to do on Thursday. I said, I am going to work on the 7-Ups video all day, and that's exactly what I did. So yeah, if you viewed it, if you liked it, that's great. If you didn't, that's great too. Let's get right into the eBay topics now. And I want to talk about the problems with giving partial refunds. And the reason why I'm covering this today is because of two reasons. Number one, I noticed a post in one of the Facebook groups the other day dealing with this. And boy, that thread was really long. So many sellers were chiming in saying how buyers want partial refunds and absolutely refuse to send the item back. Whether the seller accepts returns, 30 days, free returns, whatever, you would be surprised how many buyers refuse to send the item back. And they come up with some of the wackiest excuses, like I received the item and it's got a really bad smell to it. I know you take returns, but I don't want to send it back to you because I don't want the smell to affect the mailman. I'm not kidding. No, it wasn't said to me, but it was in this particular post that I'm talking about. Or they'll say something like, I know you take returns, but I don't drive a car and I can't get to the post office. Or I don't want to go through the aggravation of returning it. All kinds of nutty things, okay? Just nutty things. And you can tell by the verbiage that there's probably nothing wrong with the item anyway. This person is just trying to scam. And sometimes they'll even include a little disclaimer that says something like, why are you being so hard about this? All the other sellers have given in and given me a partial refund right away. That is proof that they do this with all the other sellers, okay? This is where you are responsible, not eBay, not the man in the moon. You, as an eBay seller, are responsible. You have to grow a pair, all right? Some of you guys are with me. Some of you guys, quite frankly, aren't. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to say no. No partial refunds, period. But if you want to send the item back for a full refund, that's fine. And if it is broken in shipping, I'll pay the shipping. Example, you may remember, I think it was a week or two ago, I told you this story. I sent some hubs out. The guy got them and said 2 of them were broken. He provided pictures. And I believed him. I said, okay. I said, send them back. I'll give you a full refund. He didn't want that. He wanted me to send him 2 more because he was very happy with the 2. I said, no, I'm not sending you 2 more. Number 1, I don't have them, which I really didn't. Number 2, It would cost me more anyway. I said, no. I said, you send them back to me. This way I can start a claim with UPS. Once he heard that he wasn't getting the partial refund, or I wasn't going to send him 2 more new ones, he started getting a little bit snippy about it and saying it was all my fault because I didn't pack them right, which of course is not the case. I use bubble wrap. I'm a professional. So this was the story I told you last week where I contacted eBay on another case, and they settled this one themselves by giving the buyer the money back, because I said I wanted to file a charge because UPS damaged the item, or so the buyer claimed. And eBay took care of it and gave them their money back. I kept my money, so everything was fine. But the point I'm trying to make here is I said to the guy, no way. All right? I will not give you a partial refund, and I will not give you a replacement. No, no, no. 30-day returns means 30-day returns, and if I have to pay the shipping back, I'll do it. Now, an interesting situation has arisen, and I came to know of it because of the Facebook group. There's another YouTuber, another guy who makes YouTube videos. And quite frankly, as I've said before, I usually do not watch other eBayers who make videos because most of this stuff I know. Or if they do have a really good meaty topic, like if they're going to discuss someone who scammed them, that's something I want to see. But instead of getting to the topic, they make you walk around a room full of gadgets they're selling on eBay, and they want to point out each one how much they sold it for. I'm not interested, okay? I got my own business. I'm not interested how much you're making, all right? But if someone's scamming you and there's a problem, I am interested. And also, I can't spend an hour and 20 minutes watching a freaking eBay video. Guys, I'm sorry, I can't do it. But they posted a video where this particular seller uploaded a relatively short 30-minute video about this partial refund scam. So I watched it, and the guy was making some really good points. The problem is, it is theoretically possible to sell something like a coffee mug, a ceramic coffee mug, ship it to the buyer gets it, it's fine, but the buyer could, using AI, construe a picture of the coffee mug broken, that exact mug. And this particular YouTuber showed us an example, and it was spot on. The guy's point was spot on. The picture looked perfect. And in his case, you would think that the buyer would say, hey, the coffee mug arrived broken. I want to send it back and I want a refund. I think the guy even offered free returns, but don't quote me on that. The buyer refused to send it back, which is ridiculous. Think about it. If you bought something, whether it's a coffee mug or whatever, and it arrives broken, and the seller accepts returns, even if he doesn't accept returns, you're going to send it back and you're going to make him pay return shipping. It only makes sense. Who in their right mind would say, I'm not sending it back? Instead of giving me my full $15, give me $10 back. It makes no sense, okay? You guys need to be on guard for this partial refund scam. I think it's been out there a while, but it's gaining traction. And the reason it's gaining traction is because buyers know they can get away with it with many sellers. There's a lot of weak sellers. Buyers love to use the terminology, I would like to know if you and I can resolve this before I leave my review. Who talks like this? And my favorite, the item arrived and it's more scratched than your pictures depicted. How would you like to resolve this? Can you imagine going into a retail store where you bought something and saying to the manager, how do you want to resolve this? You would never say that. You'd say, I want my money back. I want to return this thing. It's damaged. I want my money back. You guys got to be literally Philadelphia lawyers nowadays to communicate with people on eBay, because some of these buyers know the perfect verbiage. They've gotten away with it before, and they know there's a good chance they'll get away with it again. But if you call their bluff, the odds are they will not return that item. Now you'll say, well, wait a minute, that's great. But could they leak me negative feedback? They sure can, and there's a good chance they may. I've had some. Sometimes it depends on what they say. Sometimes you can get it removed, sometimes you can't. I've had examples where I sold something like used and scratched, and they put, he sent me a scratched item. Well, of course I did. It says it right in the listing. People don't read, and it's only getting worse. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, when there's a holiday, not only do sales slow up, but if you get any interaction with a buyer at all, it's going to be negative. For instance, I had 2 spells this week where I went approximately 36 hours with no sales. First time was beginning of the week, and second time was Wednesday all the way through Thursday. Okay? Horrible. But I expected that. I accept it. I don't like it, but I accept it. So what happens? On about the 32nd hour, I get the piano music. A guy from Germany writes to me and he says, I'm thinking about buying your items, but they look like they're kind of dull. Will they buff out? I looked at them, they're perfectly shiny. I told him to get them locally, and of course I blocked them. But there was really no reason to block them because people from Germany are not allowed to buy used auto parts. Sad but true. I used to do quite well with people from Germany. They would buy a lot, but they changed the rules. There are certain countries that will not allow used auto parts to be brought in, and that happens to be one of the places. So yeah, that was my question, and I knew that was coming. Also, somebody wrote in the Facebook groups an interesting little story. This has been going on forever, and I can't believe it's still going on. They had an item, let's say $50 plus shipping or best offer. A buyer sent them a reasonable offer of, let's say, $35. And eBay said that the seller would be paid right away. The seller accepts the offer. Boom, they're paid right away. Great. They box up the item, they put the label on it, they're ready to go. And then they get a message from the buyer. I want to cancel this. I have no intention of buying this item, and I never did. I just sent you an offer because I was curious to see if you would take $35 for that $50 item. Can you believe that that is still going on? That's something that did happen to me many years ago. It hasn't happened lately, thankfully. But this is proof that a person like that has been sending out best offers willy-nilly over the years and not paying for any of them because eBay never required immediate payment till last year. And now, some of these people, they're coming out of their caves and they're getting a rude awakening. This should not be allowed, all right? I think, if I remember correctly, the seller did accept the cancellation. I wouldn't have, not for that reason. That's just plain ridiculous. You know, eBay tells buyers that there's a binding contract, or at least they used to. But, you know, guys, I miss the early days of eBay. And you can call me sentimental, you can call me whatever you want. I don't really care. But during the early days of eBay, I have to be honest, it was a level playing field. Also, it was the Wild West. Crazy things happened. But buyers and sellers were equal. If a seller said no returns, all sales final, that meant there was all sales final, no returns. Boy, oh boy, I remember those days. I remember people contacting me saying, it's the wrong size, I want to return it. Not happening, I said. Not happening. And I wouldn't take it back. No, I wouldn't. Of course, also one thing you have to remember is during the early days, there was no way eBay would remove unfair negative feedback. Even deadbeat bidders were able to leave negative feedback even though they never paid, and eBay would never remove it. But on the other hand, we as sellers could leave bad buyers negative feedback. Like if they didn't pay, we could put deadbeat bidder, something like that. And let me tell you, I did it and I enjoyed it. It was one of those true, really satisfying feelings that you just don't come upon anymore. During the early days of eBay, before I caught on, as soon as the 7 days went by, I would leave the person negative feedback. Deadbeat bidder, never paid. But at least half the time, they would leave me negative feedback, even though they never paid. After a few months of getting negative feedbacks I didn't deserve, it dawned on me. I waited to the very last day. Back then, you could wait 90 days, not just 60. I would wait till the 89th day, and I would leave them negative feedback. One guy got so mad that I did that, he created a fake account just to leave me negative feedback. He purchased my item like on a Tuesday, never paid, and then Wednesday he left me negative feedback, which obviously proves that he never even got the item. He was doing it out of spite. I remember the guy vividly. I remember him. He had a Honda. He purchased some items. He waited to the last minute, sniped, won them, and after that said, "Oh, by the way, are these new or used?" I said, "You can't see it clearly says used and scratched." He said, "Well then, I'm not paying you for them. I don't want them." Nothing I could do about it, but he got himself a negative feedback for his trouble. And I enjoyed it, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Okay, that being said, what else happened this week in eBay land? Let's think about that. Well, I still have 2 open returns that date back to November 13th. Think about this. What I'm telling you is that on November 13th, 2 different people opened return requests. Today is November 28th. It has been 15 days and they have not even made an inkling to print the label and ship it back to me. 2 people. Why does eBay give buyers so long to return items? I have decided I am not a holiday person, but I am going to make a Christmas eBay wish list. I might even do it on next week's video. If not, I'll do it in December. And I'm going to list the things I would like to see changed. I'm not going to list everything. It's only a half an hour show. I'm going to list a few key points, and returns is definitely at the top of the list. If someone wants to return something, okay, I get it. Give them a week. If they can't get it in the mail in a week, something's not right, okay? Something's just not right. That's not a way to do business. Cancellations. I'm noticing they're on the rise again. I will never understand something. There are really 2 type cancellations I encounter. Number 1, the buyer buys something, pays for it right away, and eBay shows him the same thing cheaper from another seller. That is absolutely despicable. Dirty pool that eBay would do that to us. But in fairness, I understand how the buyer would feel and say, hey, I can get it cheaper from the guy down the street. So it's not right. I don't condone it, but I do understand it. What I don't get, and I just had one the other day, a buyer will buy something from me. Cha-ching! Oh, wow, good, I sold something. Within a minute, he wants to cancel. And he'll say, this will not fit my car. I just realized it. So why is it, after he makes the purchase, he decides to check his wheel size? Is that what's going on? Why don't they do this before they make the purchase? The question I'm asking here is, after they make the purchase, what is it that enters their brain that says, geez, maybe I should check and see if I even bought the right thing. It's been going on for years and I'll never understand it. I had one the other day, as I said, and he didn't even open a cancellation request, even though it was only 2 minutes later. He wrote a message to me. So I gave him a message back. Anybody want to guess what the message said? Anybody? Don't be shy. Come on. Speak up. No one's gonna rip your heart out. Tell me. I said, I will accept the cancellation because I didn't pack anything yet. I've done no work at all. And then I blocked him. I just don't have the time or the desire to be jerked around. I've been in retail all my life. In my next life, I've decided I do not want to be in retail anymore. I've put in enough time in. And when I say my next life, let me clear that up for you. I was only thinking about this tonight. I think I'm going to become the new Joe Mannix. The Joe Mannix of 2026. I think I'm going to go out and buy a plaid jacket, maybe a pair of plaid pants, 1970s clothes, and I'm going to become a private detective. Yeah, I think that would be cool. Private detectives of the 1970s are all cool dudes. I mean, look who we had. We had Joe Mannix, we had Jim Rockford, and we had a bunch of other guys. There was a guy called Cannon. I never watched that show. The guy's name was Conrad. Was it Bob Conrad, I think, was the star? Or William Conrad? I never saw that show. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. Because retail's tough, okay? In the old days, it wasn't tough. Don't get me wrong. Early days, retail was great. When I worked in the junkyard, oh my God, it was unbelievable. People would line up to me, cash in hand, and wait online for the privilege of giving me money. All right? When I opened my store in Oradell, same thing. Sales were non-stop. People would come in, only difference, no more cash, everything was plastic. But that was still good. That was still good. Once COVID hit, man, everything changed. Everybody wants to buy online. And okay, I'm lucky because I sell online too. So yeah, you have to do what you have to do. Guys, do you have any questions for me? Because I have something I want to tell you. I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it informative, entertaining, and helpful. I am not going to tell you a life story this week. I'm going to give you the week off. You guys deserve it because you are the best. Maybe next week. Anyway, questions, comments, concerns, and also please, if you're so disposed, watch all the videos I've been putting out that are also not eBay related. They're mainly New York City related. Those are the ones that take a lot of work to do. These eBay videos, you see how quick they are? I can ad-lib. I can talk about anything eBay I want off the cuff. But it's a lot tougher when I have to scan in pictures and explain certain locations and things like that. And if I'm actually going out on the road, as I will be doing in December, that's even more work. Thank you for watching. Rock on and peace.